Hello, my name is Andrew Wright the first. Um, I am doing this video this week, and it's good to have you guys in class. The goal this week, of course, was to find several, using the database that we were given to find several sources that pertains to our dissertation or pertains to research that we're trying to do in the future. Um, this was difficult, a little difficult for me because I've used these before in a similar fashion, and they really don't have things that pertain directly to the topic that I'm going to use. The topic that I'm going to use is going to be the U.S. Army and their armor, their tanks, in major conflict during Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2003 to 2011. Now, while I can say that it didn't directly correlate to some of the things, that we were trying to find out, but it still did. Um, it still did a fairly good job of allowing me to get some topics that refer to war and to combat, and how some of the soldiers reacted to combat, and some of the things that took place while they were there. And I believe some of those things are important. Um, the first source I used was by Kimberly Albumente. It's called War Veterans. Um, it's a source. A lot of these sources are talking about soldiers' reintegration to the American life, to their everyday life after war, and this is what it talks about. It talks about how the transition from a combat soldier to a garrison soldier is difficult for a lot of our war fighters, and not even for those who are in extreme combat, where they're in firefights and putting rounds down range of the enemy. Just the life in Iraq and Afghanistan is completely different from here in the States, and sometimes it's a little difficult for our soldiers, Marines, airmen, sailors, to reintegrate. Um, the second source I use is by Samuel Odom. It's called Redeployment, or Deployment and Redeployment. It talks about the effect of several deployments have on our troops. A lot of these troops, if you talk to them, they'll tell you they've been deployed to Iraq 5 or 6 times. Now, the Marine Corps, they have a lot shorter deployments than the Army. Um, the Army, for a while there, I know during the surge, they increased our minimum deployment from 12 months to 15 months. So you're talking about um, being away from your family at 15 months at a time. And a lot of times, they're not even getting a full year back from Iraq or Afghanistan. Excuse me. And that's hard on a lot of soldiers because mentally, they have to find a way to get out of that cycle of fighting all the time, and they have to learn to get into that cycle of I'm home now. I'm a garrison soldier. And that's difficult for a lot of soldiers. The last work I did was by Stacy Peterson. It's called Work After War. It talks about not now it's just from reintegrating to from combat soldier to veteran, or to garrison soldier to soldier in general to civilian life. That is the biggest thing that veterans right now are fighting when it comes to their mental issues, is coming back to the real world and integrating into society, um, and finding decent jobs that are going to take care of their families. A lot of these soldiers go from living in the barracks to where they don't have any, at least in the Army, they go from living in the barracks where they have, yes, the space is cramped, but they have their own room. They're not paying any bills unless they get cable, and of course, have their cell phone. Some of them have car payments, car insurance, but other than that, there's no house payments, there's no mortgage, there's no bills, other than like the one that I just said. And so this work talks about how soldiers are integrating back in civilian life. I look forward to hearing from you all this week and to reading your replies.